Hello everyone. Today we begin with the last part of our chapter 2, Endogenetic Movements, part 3. In this part, we are going to study about sudden movements. Sudden movements are classified as earthquakes and volcanoes. In earthquakes, we'll study about what is a focus and epicenter, what are types of seismic waves, seismograph, and effects and causes of earthquake. In volcanoes, we'll study about the type of volcanoes, that is central vent volcano and fissure type volcano, and the effects of volcanoes. So let us first understand what are sudden movements. Sudden movements are those movements which bring abrupt changes on the surface of the earth, like earthquakes and volcanoes. Now, what are earthquakes? Earth means ground and quake means trembling. Because of the movements occurring in the interior of the earth, tremendous tension is created in the earth's crust. When the tension goes beyond limits, the energy is released in the form of waves. This results in trembling of the earth's surface, which is called as earthquake. The magnitude of the earthquake is measured by Richter scale. Now let us understand what are the causes of earthquake. The first cause is moving of the plates. Plates means the tectonic plates. As we know that the earth's crust is totally divided into 7 major plates. So due to the movement of these plates, it will lead to earthquake. The second is the collision of those plates. The moving sometimes leads to collision of the plates, which will lead to earthquake. Plates sliding one below each other or forming of fractures in the layers of rocks due to the tension in the interior of the earth. And the last one is occurring of volcanic eruption. So all these are causes of earthquake. Now focus and epicenter. Because of the movements occurring below the earth's surface, tension is created and it keeps on accumulating. High energy is released at the place where this tension mounts up. This is the center of the earthquake, which is called as focus or hypocenter. Energy waves scatters in all directions from this center. The place on the earth's surface where these energy waves reach first is called the epicenter of the earthquake. It is the nearest place on the earth's surface from the focus and it experiences the first tremor. The epicenter is perpendicular to the focus. When the tension is released at the focus, the released energy travels in all directions. This energy comes towards the earth's surface in the form of waves. The seismic waves can be divided into primary, secondary and surface waves. Now let us understand what is primary waves or P waves. These are the first ones to reach the surface of the earth after the energy is emitted in the earth's interior. They travel at a very fast speed from the focus of the earthquake in radial direction. Subjected to a P wave, particles in the rock moves in the direction of the waves to and fro. The waves move to and fro, therefore these waves are also called as forward and backward waves. These waves can travel through all the 3 states, that is liquid, solid and gaseous state. But while traveling through liquid medium, their direction gets changed. It is because of the primary waves that the buildings on the earth's surface move back and forth. Next is secondary or S waves. The waves which reach the earth's surface after the primary waves are called secondary waves. These waves also scatters in all directions from the focus of the earthquake. Their velocity is lesser than the P waves. The particles lying in the way of these waves move up and down in the direction of the energy transfer. These waves can travel only through the solid medium. They get absorbed as they enter the liquid medium. The buildings on the earth's surface moves up and down because of these waves. These waves are more destructive than the P waves. Now, the third type of seismic waves, that is the surface or L waves. These waves are generated after the main P and S waves reach the epicenter. They travel in the direction of the circumference of the earth along the crust. They are highly destructive. Look at this instrument. This instrument is called as seismogram. It is an instrument through which the graph showing the movement of seismic waves, seismograph, can be generated. A seismograph or seismometer is an instrument used to detect and record earthquakes. A weight is attached to a spring which remains nearly still even when the earth moves. A pen attached to the weight records any movement on a roll of a paper on a constantly rotating drum. The drum moves with the earth and affects the line. In this picture, you can see a seismogram recording a seismograph. Now, with the help of modern technology, advanced seismograms have been designed, and with their help, even microseismic waves can also be measured. Now let us study the effects of earthquake. The first is cracks or fractures developing on the ground, causes landslides which leads to sliding of rocks. Sometimes the groundwater changes its course. For example, wells may get water or may dry up. Some areas get uplifted while some may subside. Tsunamis are generated in oceans. These waves can cause great loss of life and property in the coastal areas. In snow-covered areas, avalanches may occur. Building collapses and loss of life and property occurs. Transportation routes get disrupted and communication system collapses. These are the effects of earthquakes. Now let us start with the last topic of our lesson, volcanoes. What are volcanoes? Hot, solid, liquid and gaseous materials which are thrown out from the mantle of the earth on the surface of the earth. This process is called volcanic eruption. During this process, ash, water vapor, various types of poisonous and inflammable gases, hot molten magma, etc. are thrown out. When the molten magma comes out on the surface, it is called as lava. On the basis of the type of eruption, volcanoes can be divided into following types. The first is central type or conical volcano. During eruption, the molten magma comes out through a pipe-like vent inside the Earth's surface. The lava spreads around the mouth of this vent when it comes out. As a result, cone-shaped mountains starts forming and conical volcanic mountains are formed. Mount Fujiyama in Japan and Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania are examples of central vent volcanoes and conical mountains. The second type of volcano is fissure type of volcanoes. During eruption, when the magma comes out not from a single vent but from many cracks, fissures, it is called fissure type of volcanic eruption. The molten material coming out with the eruption spreads on both the sides of the fissure. As a result, volcanic plateaus are formed. The Deccan Plateau of India has also been formed due to such a type of volcanic eruption. Always remember, according to the periodicity of the volcanic eruption, 3 types of volcanoes can be identified. Number 1, if the volcanic eruptions are regular even in the present times, then such volcanoes are called active volcanoes. Second, when a volcano has not erupted since a long time but may become active suddenly, it is called as dormant volcano. Third, those volcanoes which have not erupted in past since long and are not likely to erupt in the future are called extinct volcano. Here are a few pictures of the volcanic mountains. For example, active volcano Mount Fujiyama in Japan and Stromboli in Mediterranean Sea, dormant volcano Mount Vesuvius in Italy and Barren Island in India, and extinct volcano Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. Now let us study the effects of volcanoes. First, loss of life and property. Second, sometimes tsunamis get generated due to volcanic eruption occurring below the ocean floors. Third, dust, smoke, ash, gases, water vapor, etc. remain in the atmosphere for a long time, and this may create an imbalance in the environment. Fourth, land may become fertile due to volcanic ash. Fifth, many minerals are found near the Earth's surface because of lava. Next, new land is formed due to volcanic eruption, or at times an island may even disappear. Lakes are formed at the mouth of the craters of dead volcanoes when rainwater accumulates in them. So these are the effects of volcanoes. So let us recall what we have covered up in this part. We've studied about sudden movements which are classified into earthquakes and volcanoes. In earthquakes, we study about the focus and epicenter of an earthquake, and also about the seismic waves, that is the primary waves, secondary waves and the surface waves. We also studied about the seismogram and the seismograph. Then volcanoes are divided into central conical volcanoes or fissure volcanoes. So by this we come to our end of the chapter, endogenetic movements. Thank you very much.